What's up, friends? Welcome to the 2-6 podcast with Luke and Adrian. On this podcast, we focus on Web3, business, and achieving your personal potential. On today's episode, Adrian and I are recording live and in person from Denver, Colorado, during a trip related to one of our favorite projects, Vayner Sports Pass. During our conversation, we'll cover some high-level details about Vayner Sports Pass and share the experience we've had as a part of this community. If you're a sports fan, enjoy projects with real-world utility, or building connections across a project community, this is one you don't want to miss. As with all our episodes, nothing we'll say today is to be considered financial advice. This content is for entertainment purposes only. With that all said, let's get to it. What's up, friends? Welcome to the 2-6 podcast with Luke and Adrian. On this podcast, we talk about Web3, business, and achieving your personal potential. And today I'm very excited to say that we're live in person.
In a hotel room.
In a lovely hotel room. As you might be able to see behind me, we are in a hotel. And yes, your eyes do not deceive you. There is one bed behind us. And although we are brothers and surely shared beds throughout our childhood, I did not share that bed. So it is actually three of us. So me, Adrian, his wife, my sister-in-law, Stacy, all staying in here. So they got the bed. I have not so lovely space on the floor right below us here where I slept last night. It was wonderful.
He belongs on the floor, guys.
So actually, it's not so bad always. So the sometimes it's a little bit better for my back to lay on the floor, but not so much last night. So
he doesn't want to admit he messed up on the booking.
I did the booking just right. I didn't do anything wrong with the booking. There was a little bit of a mix-up with the hotel. It's very full, so we should probably talk about why we're here.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So we're here for... Why are we here?
Why are we here?
So we are members of a NFT project called Vayner Sports Pass, and as a part of that, certain holders that have a certain NFT, which is a holo NFT, so it stands for hologram, which you can also see on my hat right there. That's what holo looks like.
Custom made.
Custom made. And so yeah, shout out to Johnny Rotten for getting us the hats. By the way,
absolutely. I have to say, bro, I'm enjoying rocking this bad boy.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. So really happy to have that. But anyway, so holders of holo NFTs got invited to this event that we're here in Denver, Colorado for. And we're going to, here in a little bit, get to go to the Jets versus the Broncos game. And then after that, go to a dinner/happy hour with none other than AJ and Gary Vaynerchuk. So really excited about that.
Yeah. For the record, I am not a Jets fan, but I will play the part.
But if you look on his X/Twitter bio, you will see pinned at the top that he is a Jets fan for that day, which was almost a year ago. And so he does have that. So that's out there.
It's time to update. My photo's it's like an old realtor photo.
Yeah.
It needs to be updated.
Yeah. So speaking of that, I think my headshot in like my LinkedIn profile and stuff, I think I took that picture about 10 years ago now.
I would like to say mine is updated, dude, but I started looking like, man, my beard is still pretty black, and it's not any black. I think people are a little shocked, like, man, he's older than he really is. Appears.
Yeah. So listeners, I would be curious for you to ask in the comments which of us is the older brother. So no comments on our end. Just would love to get a poll of which one of us is older. So if you are following us on Spotify, you'll see a poll that's in there. Would love for your vote on that. You can vote, and you can vote for Luke is older, Adrian's older, or we are fraternal twins. So you can choose any of those three options and figure out which one.
Yeah, I don't know.
So awesome. So Adrian, tell me, what did you like? We've been here one day. Like this is our second day here.
Yeah, we got in. Yeah, a little bit of a delay. But man, I have to say, one of these events truly. With any NFT project, people think they're awkward. NFTs in general, you say NFT and people tend to lose interest in what you're saying. But we are still involved in some of these projects that have actual utility, and this is part of the utility. So we did a Jets Buffalo Bills game last year where we tailgated with AJ and Gary V and a lot of the community members, and absolutely it was my first gathering. Was it my first gathering?
With VSP, yeah.
With VSP, it definitely was.
I think you hadn't done.
Oh, we did yet. The same one. We did. So we have this other one with Bill Murray through the Chive, and actually that was going on the day before, and we flew out to New York.
That was a wild weekend. Like it was. We did the Bill Murray 1000 / the Chive / the Shack on like Thursday. Then we flew out like the next day to
That's
New
what it
York
was.
and went to
Yeah.
the Bills game.
We missed out on the gala because we went. I mean, of course, we're gonna go to the football game, right? But anyway, it's still fun. But also, I mean, that's what's cool about these projects is that you get this utility. I mean, it depends on what you feel like utility is. A lot of people feel like they just want price go up, and with these, it's more of like the interaction with either the creators of a project or just collaborating or meeting the community in real life, which is really cool. I mean, it's cool to make those friendships, those connections. You can call it networking, whatever you want to call it, but it's ultimately it's a great experience. Me and Luke are having a blast. I'm dragging my wife through it. She's having fun, even though she doesn't know what's really going on. But it's ultimately it's a fun experience. Would you agree?
Absolutely, and I think that speaks to a lot of it too. Like the projects that I'm generally drawn to are some that obviously, you know, we like it if there's some like utility where you can go to a game and that kind of thing. But I think for me, one of the biggest things that I like about Vayner Sports Pass and VFriends and kind of all of those is just the community itself. Like we went to like a dinner / happy hour with some other holders that are here. So we got here early. And so shout out to Mint Condition for getting it all coordinated. But we all, and that's his handle on Twitter / X and Discord. But he put it all together and we just all had a great time. And I got to say, like, anytime I go to these things, like I meet great people. Like it's just, I don't think I've gone to any of them where it's just like, everyone's not just like a kind person and really just, I don't know. It was just great. So I had a blast. We got to meet some folks. I do feel a little bit bad. So there were a few folks that brought gifts, and I was like, "Gosh, I should have brought a gift." But we met some cool folks. They were from Hawaii, and they brought us these awesome candies and macadamia nuts that I told myself I was not going to eat all of them, and yet they're gone. I already ate them. They were delicious.
And it was Dinah Sheets. That's what I call you, Dinah Sheets. It's what I call you. It's not what you say your name is. But thanks for the Honolulu candy, man. It was awesome. It's actually kind of like Mexican candy. It's got like this little spice to it, which I really enjoy.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, it's the women generally. My wife said, we should bring them something. I was like, what are we gonna do that for? And now I feel like an ass because people brought stuff and I didn't listen.
Yeah. No, I did not even have the thought. So I definitely will learn for next time. And but we really appreciate to both Dinah Sheets and for Johnny for thinking of us and doing that.
Yeah. And let's talk a little bit about Vayner Sports Pass. Luke, you probably have a really good explanation. You're better at explaining things than I am, so you want to explain what Vayner Sports Pass is?
Sounds good. Yeah. So Vayner Sports Pass. So the founder of Vayner Sports Pass is AJ Vaynerchuk. He has a great team of community leads. Michael and Cal are really great at that. So they're kind of the core team. There's some other folks that do things kind of behind the scenes within VSP. But essentially what it is you have a card that you could have minted if you were in at the beginning, or you can buy it on OpenSea. And they all have different colors, different icons to them. And depending on the icons that are on there, so there's like baseball, basketball, football, hockey, golf, volleyball, I'm missing soccer, MMA, gaming. I think that's maybe all of them. I might have left one out. But there's all these icons that are on them. And so depending on the icons on your card, there's monthly raffles that you can use to enter in order to win access to sporting events. And usually they tend to be some that are like things that people can't always get access to. So like they might have tickets to the US Open final, or it might be for tennis, or it might be, a game that is like a really important game, that kind of thing. So you enter these raffles, and so you can get access to those things. There's also a chance to, they'll do like AMAs or Ask Me Anything is what AMA stands for if you're not familiar with that term. But they'll do AMAs where you can kind of get sometimes access to hear from players and that kind of thing. So VSP is actually an extension of Vayner Sports, the agency. So Vayner Sports actually is a sports agency. So they kind of work with different athletes to represent them in their contracts and that kind of thing. So they do that. And so sometimes we get access to, an Ask Me Anything with different athletes. So like Justin Turner is one of the big ones that's involved there. He's been super great in just kind of being a part of VSP, being willing to answer questions, that kind of thing. So you get access to those kinds of things. So that's kind of what initially launched with Vayner Sports Pass. And they actually just last week launched a new extension of that where you can mint a profile picture through a VSP, and then you can use you get points. You earn a certain amount of points for minting that, and then you also get points based on the cards that you have, and use them toward like merchandise, or you might use them for sporting events or access to AJ or athletes and that kind of thing. So that's kind of in a nutshell what it is. Adrian, anything I left out?
Yeah, I mean, so some of them are actual raffles. Some of them you can actually spend the points on in the merch store, or there's also an auction to where you can basically put up all your points or as many points as you want to give up to better yourself for, or basically get that experience. So I think it's definitely new. It's definitely a little bit of a turnaround, but I mean, I think it has some good potential, and I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, no, it's I'm excited about today. So coming up here in a little bit, actually right after this, we're gonna leave to go head toward the game. So I think we're gonna maybe try to meet up with some of the other members before that, and then after that, obviously go to the game. We'll get to hang out with them, and then meet up with Gary, AJ, and then maybe some other members of the team there. But what are you looking forward to related to that, age?
Well, I'm looking at not getting harassed in Denver wearing a green Jets jersey. So I came over. I'm gonna talk about my little experience.
Yeah.
At the last Denver game. So I had an uncle that lived out here. So we came to a lot of Bronco games, and I think the last one I came to, I was probably 12 years old, and I came super unprepared. It was Kansas City, Denver. It was probably like January. I didn't have anything. I didn't have a jacket. So my uncle gave me this big old jacket. I was wearing these cheap ass jeans, and I had no gloves. He gave me some bright pink gloves, and it snowed. It snowed. I truly did not even enjoy the game. I was in the south stands with all the rowdies, and it got to the point to where it was snowing so much, the people behind me were dusting the snow off my head, like my little beanie cat. My, what do you call it? The hoodie of the jacket? What do you call it?
Hoodie.
My hood.
Stadium jacket.
Yeah. and my jeans were soaked, so I was freezing. I needed to pee, but I couldn't pee. It was a horrible experience. I was ready to leave. And anyway, so it's gonna be warm today. I'm excited that I'm gonna be able to just take a light jacket or sweatshirt and not freeze my ass off. So I'm excited.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, no, it'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to sitting with some of the other members and that kind of thing. So we have a Discord channel that we just kind of communicate through and like talk about like what we're doing, that kind of thing. So we've kind of all been exchanging what seats we're in so that we know kind of who we're sitting next to. So I think that's one of the big ones that I'm excited about. There's a couple folks that we also met either through other Vayner Sports Pass get-togethers or at VCon that it's kind of one of the cool things about just the community as a whole. Like we have friends all over the world now.
Yeah.
Like cool. Literally all over. So like with Vayner Sports Pass, a lot of them are US based. There's a few folks that are, in other countries and that kind of thing. But for the most part, I think VSP is US based. But even like when we start to think about like chicken, like we have friends in Australia, we have friends in Thailand, we have friends in Canada. Like they're all over the world, and it's
chicken
just
strong.
Yeah, chicken strong, right? So I'm just excited to see some of them. So we got to spend some good in-person time with some of these folks at VCon and other events. So just kind of reconnecting with them, and
yeah, I think it's gonna be cool. Like last year, it was a tailgating venue to where they, it was actually really cool. This time it's gonna be an after game party, so it's gonna be more of like a rented out bar. And I think it's going to be a little bit more of a personal experience. Maybe, not so many distractions on the outside, like with the tailgating. So I think it's going to be kind of cool. I'm actually kind of excited to see the difference or the change of the game. Not game, but the function.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be cool. I'm pretty stoked about that too. So
yeah. So let's talk about the dinner. So after the game, so Gary and AJ are gonna go to the game. So those that may not be as familiar with Gary and AJ Vaynerchuk, so Gary Vaynerchuk is the founder of eFriend. He's also the CEO of VaynerMedia, VaynerX, all of those types of things. So he actually got his start, and we'll do a more complete episode on Gary, but he actually got his start with a YouTube channel at his dad's wine company. It's called The Wine Library. So if you want to see, like those of you that are maybe interested in creating something on YouTube or that kind of thing, just know like, hey, he's fantastic at it now, but everyone has to start somewhere. And he kind of always jokes that in his early videos, like he looks like a hostage that's locked up and that kind of thing. And so, and you can actually find them online. It's actually pretty cool. So he started off doing that, and then eventually he kind of grew out of that and started his own business with Vayner Media. So he does a lot of like advertising and like social media engagement. He does that for other companies. And then he also has a project called VFriends that is really intended to, like he describes it as Sesame Street meets Pokemon.
Yeah.
So it's kind of being like a good influence on people, but also collectibles, that kind of thing. We'll talk more about VFriends.
Yeah.
I know we've talked about it in the VCon episode.
Yeah, there's still a lot of episodes that we need to talk more about these projects, and we're probably talking more about the projects that we're in, but also the ones that have utility and the ones that we truly enjoy, right?
Yeah.
As Gary V would always say, most NFT projects are going to zero. These are some of the ones that survived and we're glad to be a part of because they're still here and they're still offering utility. So for us, I think that's huge. I don't know about you, but I've got a lot of worthless PFPs that hopefully we'll be able to use on Chicken X someday to forage, but we'll talk more about that later.
Yes.
But man, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, for sure. So to keep talking about Gary a little bit. So Gary's the founder of that, and so he's one of the people we're going to get to meet. He's also really big in. He wouldn't call himself a public speaker, but he does do a lot of public speaking, and just a lot of it's motivation, business based, that kind of thing. So excited to meet him. His brother AJ is I think he's the CEO or he's the lead. He's either the president or CEO of Vayner Sports, which is an extension of Vaynerchuk, which is like the broader company. So first and foremost, AJ manages a sports agency company, but then he also has this Vayner Sports Pass project that we're here for. So just kind of with all that in mind, I'm really excited to meet them. We've actually had a chance to meet both Gary and AJ several times, but I think today's going to be more of like an intimate type environment. So there's only, I want to say there's maybe 40, 50 of us that are here.
That's the talk around the water cooler.
So I think we should hopefully get some really decent FaceTime with them. And
I'm actually excited. With the tailgate, it was kind of loud. Of course, Gary's got a big following, so a lot of people were just hollering from across the way. And anyway, I think it was a little bit distracting last time. So I'm kind of interested to see like with this whole dynamic of being like in a private little bar or whatever, because they're renting it out just for a short period of time, hour and a half, right?
I think so, yeah.
But who knows? We'll see what it goes like. See what it goes like. My new word.
That sounds great. That's what
I do.
Yeah. So anything, Adrian, that you're like wanting to talk with either Gary or AJ about? I think one of the things that kind of comes to mind naturally is like sharing the podcast, that kind of thing. And I already know if we do bring that up, what he's going to tell us, and he's going to tell us that how often are we posting on TikTok? And the answer to that question right now is 0. We have a TikTok account with 0 followers, and we are following 0 people. That's going to change soon. So I know that's one thing that he's going to say if we ask him about it. So I don't need to ask him that question. But what else? Anything that you want to talk with Gary about?
Dude, no. I think I've listened to so much of his content. It's more like, "What's up, bro? Nice to see you again." I mean, it's like I don't want to bombard him with questions. I guess I think that's some. I'm probably gonna want to take a selfie. Do the typical thing that somebody posted a meme that what holders are like when he's just trying to enjoy himself.
Yeah.
So no, I think for me it's more of just like, dude, just being in the space, being around and just having a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, without having to like harass him.
So that is kind of one of the awkward things that comes from like consuming somebody's content so much. Like, so I subscribe to Gary's podcast. I watch him on YouTube. I see him on Twitter all the time. So I like consume so much of the content. It's like, okay, I kind of know everything that you're going to say. I still want to hang out with you, but I don't know what to talk about because I already know that. So I kind of have a similar situation. So my friend Jeremiah has a podcast. It's a soccer-based podcast that I listen to religiously every single week. And then when I see him, it's like, yeah, I kind of know everything that's going on with you. And like I hear you talk for an hour and a half every week. And so it's like, I still want to hang out and I still like it. I don't know what to talk about because
I'm wondering if he'll share any alpha.
Maybe. So
I'm going to ask him, hollow is alpha, right? Which is kind of like a term that they use. There's hollow.
Oh.
And he's always saying hollow is alpha. So maybe, I know with some chicken, we're always hitting up with the devs for some alpha. So, truly, maybe I just might go for the jab. Not even the jab. I'm gonna go for the left hook, man. No jab, left hook. It's just gonna be a left hook, and I'm gonna hit him for some alpha. What do you think?
I think that's good. So, and for those that may not be aware, so Gary wrote a book called Jab, Jab, Left Hook. So
Was it a left hook or a right hook?
I don't know. I think it's left. But
By the way, it's a hook.
Yes, for sure.
No, so I don't know. Maybe I'm more curious. Like seriously, just being curious with questions that we were talking about today when we are having coffee. Is maybe I'm just curious about like if what kind of utility maybe VF1 holders are going to have. And maybe just get some insight on some of these rookie cards for the VFriends stickers or VFriends. I mean, those are all rookie cards too. And maybe just trying to see. I think he did mention the other day on Fanatics that VF1 is the ultimate rookie card. So we'll see. I'm sure there's not going to be a whole lot of time. So if I got one question, that's probably going to be it.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably going to be, what kind of alpha can you share on the VF1 holders NFT side? So I think that's truly what I want to know.
Yeah, for sure. It's just I don't know. I'm just looking forward to the opportunity to hang out and just chat about whatever we want to chat about. Like I don't want to ask him necessarily for advice. I don't want to shill our podcast or anything like that. So I think just make a good connection and hang out. So.
Ask him what he thinks the Jets record is going to be at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to be sad, and I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
So those that may not know, so especially if you're learning about Gary for the first time, so one of his main aspirations in life, maybe the one besides like, everything family related and stuff, is to own the New York Jets. And he has actually a really good story on that. So that's part of why we're here for a Jets game. So as Adrian mentioned, we're not necessarily Jets fans. It's just Gary and AJ are insane Jets fans. Like they love the Jets so much. And so when Gary was in his younger years, his family immigrated here from the former Soviet Union, and didn't speak English, anything like that. He made some friends that really got him into the Jets, and he became this great fan of theirs. And their money situation wasn't great, and so he wanted like the main thing he wanted in the world was a Jets jersey because he was such a fan. And he obviously that wasn't in the cards for his family because they didn't have the money for that. So his mom really wanted to support him in wanting that, but she couldn't make the money work. So she actually hand knitted a New York Jets jersey for Gary, and he wore that proudly, and he still has it. So his goal, and he actually just posted it on X today, is to buy the Jets and then be able to hang up that sweater that his mom knitted for him as a testament to what determination can really do, going from a kid that couldn't afford a jersey to being a man that owns the team, which I think is, I really hope he makes that happen.
Maybe that's the question. So he was on the local NYC news this last week, and the gal that was there, of course, they were talking about the Jackalope VFriends character, since it's near Halloween and whatnot. But she even asked him, and maybe that's the question. He's like, so when are you going to buy the Jets? And his answer is like, well, I don't know yet, but maybe you can help me with that.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, maybe that's the question. It's a game time decision.
Yeah.
I haven't decided.
Yeah, and I think the thing that's tough about that is like, let's say he gets the money altogether. So I don't know how many billion it costs, but he has the money. The team still has to be for sale. True. Like it's like, just because he has the money that the last owner paid for it or the valuation of it doesn't mean that they want to sell it. So he either needs to be ready for when that lucky situation comes up, or have so much that he can make an offer that the owner can not turn down because it's such a great deal for them. So I think that's the tough thing about a goal like that, is you can have everything you need to buy, but if it's not for sale, it's not being
I think
sold.
the Jets got to do really horrible for many, many years, and then the seller, the owner wants to sell, and maybe you can swoop up. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. I've only done that on Madden football through the franchise mode. But anyway, those are years ago.
Yeah.
Dating myself. Maybe they still do it. Is Madden still around?
Yeah, they still have, man.
Interesting.
So awesome. Good deal. All right, well, listeners, I think that's going to wrap us up for today. Really, really excited to share with you just kind of our experience after we've done that, but we did want to get this recorded beforehand. Adrian, anything else that you have to share?
No, I think we'll do a recap though. Let's see how the Jets game goes. I'm look forward to a good game and the after party. So we'll keep you guys attuned on how that went, how things are going. I'm sure we'll both be posting some photos. I may not know Gary personally, but he has touched me on the shoulder once.
tell. So you use that quote a lot. Before we close, tell the listeners what that is from.
So if anybody's watched the movie Gladiator, right, you got Marcus Aurelius and the hell's his name, Maximus, and he laughs at him, right? He says, "You knew Marcus Aurelius," and he goes, "No, I never said I knew him. I said he touched me on the shoulder once." So I got this whole thing that because I made a post last year. And everybody responded and said, "Holy shit, how do you know Gary Vee?" And I let it play out, and I say, and I was like, "Well, it's one of those things. You just got to be in the know." But anyway, I mean, truly, it was a buddy who called me, and I told him, I was like, "Well, I don't really know him. He just touched me on the shoulder," and it was just one of those famous quotes. But it's all appearance sometimes, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. Sometimes it's all bullshit.
Yeah, but definitely check out Gladiator. It's a little older movie. It's Russell Crowe. I think it came out 20 years ago, something like that.
God, is it 20 years?
I think so.
Man, I'm dating myself.
But still a good one. And yeah, so anytime you see either of us with anyone famous, it's kind of that situation. We don't know them, but maybe they did touch us on the shoulder once.
No, I know him, Luke. I know him.
Right.
Don't lie to him.
That's funny.
Bill Murray, same thing.
Right. All right, listeners. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. As Adrian said, we will do some sort of recap for this, but really appreciate you viewing and or listening, and we'll catch y'all later on.
2-6.